Today, I want to talk about the beauty of accessibility in video games. I cannot stress the importance of accessibility enough. However, but within fighting games and the genre, when something is perceived easier or babied, older players generally sometimes gatekeep how fighting games were, and they say everything is soft nowadays. Me personally, I love the complexity of a game similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I love that entry barrier to play a game like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And even though those games have control schemes that can be on the surface easy to play, but getting good makes it even hard to master. You heard the saying, easy to play, hard to master. But listen, it's been 38 days since Street Fighter 6 released, and every other day, somebody is still mad about modern controls. Instead of letting them keep getting on my nerves, and letting them win and comment whatever they say and ignoring it, I'm gonna approach it now. I was like, hey yo, let's break down and debunk a lot of these negative Today, I want to talk about the beauty of accessibility in video games. I cannot stress the importance of accessibility enough. However, but within fighting games and the genre, when something is perceived easier or babied, older players generally sometimes gatekeep how fighting games were, and they say everything
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to get this shit up. Like, the Streamlabs completely fucked everything up. Yeah, but like, the FGC, they will dick ride Japan till the sun explodes. You're right about that. They'll dick ride that shit no matter what.
thing is soft nowadays. Me personally, I love the complexity of a game similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I love that entry barrier to play a game like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And even though those games have control schemes that can be on the surface easy to play, but getting good makes it even hard to master. You heard the saying, easy to play, hard to master. But listen, it's been 38 days since Street Fighter 6 released, and every other day, somebody is still mad about modern controls. Instead of letting them keep getting on my nerves and letting them win and comment whatever they say and ignoring it, I'm gonna approach it now. I was like, hey yo, let's break down and debunk a lot of these negative, toxic, or misinformative content and information about modern controls. So yeah, I have this short on my channel that every day since Street Fighter 6 released, it got people really hot and pissed off. Now I'll admit there's some things I've said in the video because one, it's only 60 seconds. I can only say so much. It's content. Like I just did it to say it a certain way, but come on, like, alright, enough of all that talking. Let's read some awful modern control hot takes right now. You watch.
Mini player, you fuck. I'm gonna cut this part out. What is going on with this shit? I don't get what's going on with this shit. You know what? Hold on. Okay, then there we go. Can y'all hear me? Yo, what's up, Lone Blade and Tatsu Spam? Okay, here we go. Yeah, let me start the video over again.
Today, I want to
Make sure that one more thing. Okay. Yeah. All right. Everything's good. All right. Okay. Let's start.
talk about the beauty of accessibility in video games. I cannot stress the importance of accessibility enough. However, but within fighting games and the genre, when something is perceived easier or babied, older players generally sometimes gatekeep how fighting games were, and they say everything is soft nowadays.
But everything is kind of soft nowadays once you really look at it. The reason why people are saying that, because a lot of things are soft as shit nowadays. People expect maximum fucking praise and appreciation for the smallest of fucking shit. Like the average kid nowadays expects to be rewarded for not forgetting to breathe this morning, for not forgetting to take a shower. A lot of people are. Look at the people at TikTok and shit, like on Twitter and shit like that, man. Virtue signalers and shit like that. I know this has nothing to do with the video itself, but I'm just kind of going a little bit on a tangent. But it is. This is the softest generation that I have ever seen, man. When anything requires a little bit of work, they automatically go like, oh my God, it's too much work. I can't do this. Like, I promise you. But they'll be the first ones to tell you. They'll be the first ones to tell you how big Chun-Li's fucking breasts are. They'll be the first ones to tell you how much they love like Jewelry's feet and shit. But like anything that requires any work or brain power or actual knowledge, these motherfuckers go like, nah. No, but they kind of right. And plus, like, even people are saying, even with modded controls, people are still saying like Street Fighter 6 is really hard and I can't get into it and shit. Like, bro, if you think Street Fighter 6 is too hard, I really don't want you to touch Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 3. You will literally explode instantly if you try touching that game, man.
Me personally, I love the complexity of a game similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I love that entry barrier to play a game like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And even though those games have...
Yeah, but here's the thing about Smash Ultimate and like Smash in general. They were always like that. The reason why people have such a knee-jerk reaction to like these modern controls, or like scrub controls that I like to call it, is because they never needed it. It puts a lot of like FGC YouTubers like bigger than him will go like, well, the reason why modern controls are necessary because more people get into the game. No, you just want more people to view and watch you. And the reason why they cater to them so much is because they will have money in their pockets no matter what. It's the same shit with Street Fighter 5. When the entire game of Street Fighter was literally dumbed down to the point where it felt like it's just more like luck rather than skill. And people still defended that shit. I will never forgive Maximilian Dude for that shit. When he basically just threw the hardcore audience under the bus with Street Fighter 5. And you know, the only time he played that game is when a new character dropped. That's the only time he ever touched it. Other than that, he hardly ever played that game. What happened to KOF 15, guys? What happened to KOF 15? Nobody's even talking about that game. Nobody's even talking about it. DNF Duel, the only time they're talking about it is when they can profit off of it. Who was talking about it beforehand? Before Spectre came out? Almost a year after the fact. Nobody cares. Well, what happened to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Just because you want these games simplified doesn't mean it's always going to be successful. It's the same shit when like a game is like really way too hard with no like way to get in. I agree there has to be some form of a middle ground, sure, but like when it comes like the people thinking like, oh my god, like modern controls are just as valid as classic controls, when we all know they're not. They're not. And honestly, in my opinion, modern controls need to be nerfed, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day.
Have control schemes that can be on the surface easy to play, but getting good makes it even hard to master. You heard the saying, easy to...
Tekken 7 was the worst fucking fighting game. It was the worst fucking Tekken I ever played. That was awful. It somehow even got worse with just one button rage arts. People were complaining, and that's the funny thing. People were complaining, like back in Tekken 7, like, oh, I don't know how to do the rage arts. They're too complicated, so they made it one button. And Tekken 8 is only going to be worse. Minus 13 rage arts on block and can't be launch punished. People gonna hate the shit out of that game after a week or two when that game releases. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait because I literally called it.
To play, hard to master. But listen, it's been 38 days since Street Fighter 6 released, and every other day somebody is still mad about modern controls. Instead of letting them keep getting on my nerves and letting them win and comment whatever they say and ignoring it, I'm gonna approach it now. I
already kind of watched this video, but he has some of the worst takes I have ever seen. You'll see.
Like, hey, yo, let's break down and debunk a lot of these negative, toxic, or misinformative comments.
I'm sorry. Do you notice when like being honest is being toxic nowadays in the FGC? That's really a funny thing, man. You know, toxic has become like basically the equivalent of like you're an istorophobe, basically. It's been used so much that it literally means nothing to me at this point.
Content and information about modern controls. So yeah, I have this short on my channel that every day since Street Fighter 6 released, it got people really hot and pissed off. Now I'll admit there's some things I've said in the video because one, it's only 60 seconds. I can only say so much. It's content. Like I just did it to say it a certain way, but come on, like, alright, enough of all that talking. Let's read some awful modern control hot takes right now. You watching this video, you this far in the video and you haven't hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, let's get this
I would love if y'all, so it's gonna get lit.
Fucking ads.
If you want the performance of stainless steel, the versatility of cast iron, and the convenience of non-stick,
I don't care. But if macros like this are allowed,
the problem with modern controls is that modern control screen literally gives you macros, keep the auto combo shit. Yeah, I don't care about macro. Those is literally all the things that are allowed to, open a new can of worms for players. I can kind of agree. But then again, macros had to be practiced regardless if they're modern or classic. But the auto combos, like the instant one button reaction supers and shit like that, and like DPs and shit like that, bro, I literally just bodied like a modern control Luke, like just a while ago in Street Fighter 6 when I was playing it. Shit, I'm about to be master right now with Luke. I got like 5 stars. I actually played like some ranked, not streaming it and shit. I actually got the 5 stars now. About to be master with that shit. And I'm telling you, modern controls is some bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Out in the game, it opens up a new can of worms for players. Yeah, you get macros to do special moves faster, but we lose other normals and buttons. We could get mixed by those buttons that y'all don't have. We have to play a different game plan from what everybody else is playing. And if you want to argue something about modern controls, literally at one point it could get to a potential problem where like the people that are good on modern, they can come off very formulaic, like lesser, if anything. Well, like, my patterns and what I'm probably gonna go for because what modern has versus what classic does. Y'all still got the better advantage.
Not really when you can just bypass the controls. Now you would have had a point if like your modern controls and you the only control scheme that you had was modern controls. But here's the little thing to kick you in the ass. Modern controls also allows you to switch to classic inputs at any point. Like you have the option to do the modern control input for DP, or you can just do the classic DP to bypass not only the 20% damage debuff, but also, oh, you can, well, actually that's the only thing, but still you have the option. You can switch right back. Modern controls might as well just be called modern controls until I feel like playing classic controls. That's all it is. Sure, you might lose a limb or two, maybe, but like, would it matter when you automatically can get shit for free? Or really don't have to think hard about it at all?
I don't get it. Like, macros is nothing. Stop trying to bust out and do her dirt stuff. I'm gonna bust out with you and I'm probably gonna win. Now, this comment, I'm tired.
The controls are gonna win for you. You're not gonna win. I'm
tired of seeing. I'm tired of seeing. Dankus Mimus 07093 says, I have no problem with it. They say if you are casual and not gonna constantly be playing, then it's not a big of a deal. Plus it does less damage and they lose certain moves. Let casuals have fun, bro. It's not hurting anyone. So I agree with you. However, this mode is not supposed to be looked as a baby easier mode.
But it is. But it is. Just because it isn't supposedly not to be looked as is that it is. I mean, I hate to go to extremes, but like, let's say like who can I think of? Let's say like Hannibal Lecter, for God's sakes. Like, let's say he made like some food that looks like some fish and look like some fancy fish platter or whatever. That doesn't change the fact that it's still human parts and it's cannibalism. It's the same shit. I'm sorry, that was a dumb take. Just because it isn't supposed to be looked at it in that light, it doesn't mean that it's not. I'm sorry, but that's dumb. You're dumb for that, man.
It's an alternative mode. If y'all want to know,
it's an alternative mode, but it still carries the shit out of you, though.
A game that's popular, that's competitive, that's played just like this, modern controls, look up Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. That is exactly what it is. I personally like that modern control scheme than Street Fighter control scheme. It can be a little overwhelming, I won't lie to you. Especially with all the extra shit in this game, the draft gauge,
Bro, I'm sorry. Stop. I'm sorry, like Street Fighter 6, in my opinion, it's like one of the easiest games to actually really get good at. If you compare it to like Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 3 and shit. Now don't get me wrong, I would actually be on your side with like modern controls being like a thing back in the older days, because like the internet and shit was not like accessible. It was like a whole different world where like information wasn't easily as accessible as it is now. I bet money I can look up on YouTube like 10 combo guides or whatever have you, like 10 character guides, like for Ryu or whatever, like in 10 seconds. I can just do that with one search. The reason why I'm against modern controls now as a whole is because you don't need them. You can put in the work. You got the tools to learn. You got the tools. That's the reason why a lot of like a lot of modern fighting games, in my opinion, went to shit. Like look for example, Guilty Gear Strive. Like Guilty Gear Strive is one of the most boring games I've ever played, man. Like I literally have no energy to play that game. None. I mean, sure, I played Giovanna. She's like a simple character, sure. But I also played Ken in Street Fighter 4. Yeah, he's an easy to learn character. Yeah, but like there was so much shit that you can do and learn. The one frame links, the plinking, the shit like that. There's literally so many layers to that game that literally any character I picked up, whether it was Ken, Ibuki, Oni, whatever have you, there was like so many characters. Sure, they might have like a different like learning curves depending on which one you pick, but overall, like when you actually discover their whole kit, they are hard as shit to use. And sure, and the best thing about it was the one frame links weren't mandatory. They weren't. They were always optional, and it always be the higher players that are going to use that shit. But when I discovered that shit, it makes me feel like I accomplished something, like I went over the moon. I might never use it in an actual like match or some shit, but the fact that I can do it and I push myself hard enough is what makes fighting games exciting for me. That's what the reason why a lot of people, especially the older generation, got into fighting games in the first place, because they worked their ass off to find something new. They worked their ass off. They dare challenge themselves to be better. They didn't look for shortcuts and shit like that. And that's why a lot of people get pissed the fuck off when they see shit like this. Why are you so special? Why did you get a shortcut when literally so many other people did not? That makes no sense, especially now that you have so much more information that you can just look up with one Google search. That makes no sense.
Drive rush, your health bar, that's too much. I'm gonna play on modern. Okay, now I have to address this next one. That's a strange way to put it, bro. I can't agree that someone that loses against modern controllers should feel bad. Modern controllers are easier. More buttons doesn't mean it's easier to play, less buttons does. Either way, though, I'm glad they added modern so new players can have fun.
I think watch this shit. This is about to be the worst take I ever heard. You might want to brace yourselves for this. Watch. I think this is the one.
Lord help me. So in the short, I did say it very mean, very half-heartedly, but it's only 60 seconds. I can only say so much. What I essentially meant by that is, if you're getting mad at somebody for winning on modern controls with less buttons, if I'm using less buttons to beat you, right, and not using the whole kit, I feel like you should just feel bad in a way. You've seen those martial art movies where the martial artists be like, I'll beat you with one hand. You've seen Dragon Ball GT when Goku would be like, I'll beat you less than 40 seconds or something like that. That's embarrassing, ain't it? You know what I'm saying?
Shut the fuck up. Hold on. That is the worst take I have ever heard. Like, imagine, bruh, imagine it's like you got challenged to a fight or whatever, right? You like on the street minding your own business, right? And you see a dude come up to you, a real fat fucking blob, going like, oh my god, I can beat you with one hand. Do you see my experience? Do you see all the training I've done? And then you just look at him like, you are delusional as hell. You're delusional as hell. But like, let me break down this whole shit. One, how dare you compare yourself like to Bruce Lee or whatever, like with these modern controls and shit. However you trying to make that take, that was the worst take I've ever seen. Or Goku. Nigga, you wanna know how like these dudes believed in what they said? I'll tell you how. Because they put in, what's the magic word? The work. They didn't try to find shortcuts and shit. They didn't try to find alternative ways like to just dumb themselves down, just trying to like get like an easy win or whatever. The reason why like those people became as legendary as they are and they can beat the average Joe with like one finger or whatever have you is because they put in the work. They put in the work. There's no magic pill. There's no modern control scheme. There's no nothing. It was either you nut up or shut up. That was the dumbest shit I have ever heard come out of somebody's mouth trying to defend modern controls. Ever. That was just straight up stupid. That was just straight up the dumbest thing I ever heard, man. I almost clicked off this video the first time I heard that shit. The reason why I will never respect a modern control player, I don't care. You can call me toxic, you can call me heartless, but you can't say I'm a fucking liar. But the thing is, the reason why I will never respect a modern control player is because I know that you are lazy. I just know you're lazy. And not to add insult to injury, but I'm not going to try to dig too personal here, but I can just tell by looking at you right now. I know this is kind of rich coming from me because I haven't shown my face yet, but bro, you cannot just be putting up these videos and shit, be looking all scraggly and rough the fuck up. Like, get your beard straight. Like, come on now. You look like one of these lazy niggas that would pick modern controls, bro. You look like the stereotype. Dead ass. I'm sorry, but like, come on now. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to dig too into it. I'm not trying to make this shit too personal. But like, bro, you just look sloppy. And this is, even if you were skinny, bro, like it don't make no difference. I'll take back a little bit of the fat shit. But even if you were skinny, bro, like you can't just be showing up on this video and shit with these many subscribers any kind of type of way. I'm sorry, but that's not a good look. It's not a good look, man. In a wrinkly ass shirt, like, nah. You gotta make yourself look presentable before you start making these takes like that. Especially that Bruce Lee take when you're trying to compare yourself with that. Don't do that. Just don't. You just asking to get roasted.
Yeah, so that's how I felt about
Bro, even your pictures are crooked in the back. Come on, bro. Your pictures are crooked in the back, man. And don't tell me that shit ain't on purpose. Nigga, that's just lazy. Come on, man.
that.
Well,
And
how come your thumbnails are so crispy, but like literally everything about you IRL is just so crust? I ain't gonna go too far. Let me move on.
Spidey Swag says, they're controls for today. True, the current generation is full of brats that are used to getting handed to them, and they give the moment.
Let me read this so I can read it better. They're controls for today. True, the current generation is full of brats that are used to getting shit handed to them, and they give up the moment they have to work for something. So I agree with you. They're controls made for today. Facts. And it's true. But it's 100% true. It's 100% true. I seen it. I see that shit all the time on TikTok, man. Have you seen like the people like on TikTok, YouTube, like these clout chasers and shit like that? That'd be like literally like destroying like their job. I remember like this subway guy, right? Like this dude is Subway, like literally like destroying shit for some celebrity like that. Hopefully give him a miraculous like a job or whatever, right? Or some money. Like literally like destroying the place just for some clout. All the way, man, the shit didn't work. So he kept doing the same stupid shit over and over and over again until he finally gave up. I'm sorry, but this Spidey Swag guy, like, he was 100% right. He's 100% correct on that. He hit the nail on the head.
They have to work for something, so I agree with you. They're controls made for today.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Y'all have a hate towards everything today, bro. Like, y'all
No, we don't. No, we don't. I don't have a hate for everything today. Just because something's new, that doesn't mean I'm automatically gonna hate it. Just like with past Street Fighters besides 5. I mean, I like Street Fighter 2. I like Street Fighter 3. I like Street Fighter 4. I hated the fuck out of 5 from beginning to end. But I like the Alpha series, even though I couldn't really get into it. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I respected it for what it was. You know, the one thing I respect, effort. Even if it's not perfect, at least effort was shown. In modern controls, that's just for the lazy. It is. It's really not an argument. That it really is really not. Nobody's arguing the fact that anything's new is automatically just gonna be looked at as hate. It's not.
depressed. Okay, y'all just depressed. I got some.
Bro, you the last person about talking about somebody looking depressed. But anyways,
for y'all. All right, what I'm about to show you, for a lot of people, there's 2 reasons why people use this controller. Number 1, they care about their hands.
what the fuck? They care about their hands? Are their hands literally that damn weak? Well, yeah, I guess they are, because they're not used to putting in work. I'm sorry. Are their hands gonna fall off? They're worried about their hands. They might get a little too dry. Get some lotion. No, that's I'm sorry. These are just some of the dumbest takes I have ever heard. Like ever. Imagine somebody trying to make an argument like going like, oh, the reason why we need unemployment checks and stuff like that is because people are afraid to injure their little hands to actually work. They might actually pull a muscle from lifting the boxes a little too heavy. Do you see how if you apply this same logic to anything else, it sounds really stupid? That's exactly what I'm saying. If you, this is why I don't mess with the FGC, man. If you twist the logic of what like these like coping dudes literally say about certain things with fighting games, and you literally twist that logic and just make it sound like a little less, like make it a less sense, and apply it to literally anything else, it sounds so stupid when you say it out loud.
Number 2, it's easier to do shit on the hitbox.
It easy to do on the hitbox. Everything is easier to do on a hitbox. Are you stupid? Jeez. It's easier to do on the hit. Everything is easier to do on a hitbox. Oh shit, bruh, you cannot be serious. I need a breather. Hold on, I need some water. Hold on. That was. I'm not even, bro. I'm barely like 5 minutes into this shit. Jeez, hold on. Oh, okay, I'm back. Oh, okay. Oh shit, I almost passed out on that one. That was just redonkulous. Listen, okay.
Daigo, the person that everybody idolizes.
Oh no, don't bring Daigo into this. Please don't. No.
Uses hitbox because it just more comfortable for him to do things on it. Some of y'all need to learn the concept of work smarter, not harder.
You don't do neither. You don't do neither. Nigga, how you working smarter when you a wife? How you working smarter when you a modern control player stuck in gold? Bro. What? Bro, I literally play on a PS5 dual shock controller, and I'm almost at master right now. I'm literally at Diamond 5 and only a month in this game with Luke. You can be smart and work hard at the same time. It's not working smart. You're not working hard. You're just being lazy. You're lazy. Point blank period. You're lazy. You are literally one of those guys that would literally get like one of those stomach shock muscle contraction machines because you don't want to do crunches. Because you don't want to do sit-ups. That's literally the person that's literally what you sound like, dog. Oh my God.
It's like, to be honest, like I said in the beginning of this video, people hate the idea of games being more accessible.
No, it's not just being accessible. Fighting games were always accessible. I'm tired of like this bullshit argument. They were always accessible. People just don't want to put in the work. A lot of these dudes are lazy. People come into fighting games for all the wrong reasons. It's the same reason why a lot of people go to the gym, for all the wrong reasons. I promise you, if you got to learn how to enjoy the game first before you worry about getting good. You got to learn how to enjoy going to the gym, enjoy having a schedule. You got to learn to prioritize your time. I'm sorry, that's such a bullshit argument. I'm tired of people saying this shit. You got to learn how to enjoy something first before you actually get good at it. I'm sorry, that's so dumb.
Games were like this for a long period of time. I feel like every other genre.
Actually, before I even go further, let me read. Venom, you are absolutely right. The disabled are not these people's shield when it comes to like trying to justify modern controls. You want to know who? And I will always have respect for this dude, Broly Legs. This dude literally cannot play with both hands. He literally had to play with his mouth in one hand, and he literally bodies almost everybody online with Chun-Li ever since Street Fighter 4 days. Literally went to tournaments, put in the work, put in the time and effort. Did you see him ask for a handout? No. You know what he did? He put in the work. He made a name for himself. I will always have respect for that dude no matter what. Despite his limitations, he didn't let those limitations limit himself from getting to the places that he wanted to be. And the reason why a lot of these motherfucking FGC wannabes and shit like that never make it is because they never want to put in the work. They expect instant gratification for the smallest amounts of effort they put in. And that's becoming more and more true every day. I'm glad you said that. I almost completely forgot that. And I know a lot of people are going to say like, well, not everybody can be a Broly Legs. Sure, not everybody's going to be a Broly Legs. Not everybody's going to be a Daigo. That doesn't mean you can't try. That doesn't mean you can't put in the work. That doesn't mean that you can't become a better version of yourself, but you actually want to put in the effort. Stop trying to make yourself comfortable. The reason why I got good at fighting games, especially in 4, because I had to force myself outside of my comfort zone. If I never got past that mental hurdle, I would never be as good as I am in video games right now. And I'm not saying I'm a pro player by any means. I get stomped all the time by Dead Ace. I get stomped all the time, but I also get some few matches in. I also get my licks in. It ain't a total slobber knocker like it was in 5. I get heated sometimes. I rage quit sometimes. I get mad. I get pissed. I'm just like every other fighting game player out there. I am nobody special. But at the same time, I put in the work at the end of the day. And I ain't gonna lie, I be a little bit of an asshole, but at least I'm honest about it. I'm not gonna be one person like on one. I'm not gonna be one person on like one side, then be a completely different person the other day. And that's the thing about the FGC. There's no honesty anymore. There really is no honesty. This shit like this is the reason why I left the FGC. And I still need to make that part 2. I probably might make it after this, but it's just the honesty and like the hard work that it used to love. It's almost dead at this point. I'm telling you, if I said this shit on Twitter, I'd be getting bombed right now with hate. But the thing is, you can call me an asshole, you can call me a mean motherfucker, but you can't call me dishonest.
Has been doing accessibility and trying to make things for the community, while fighting games just started doing this in the last 5 years.
Bullshit! You were so full of shit. I'm sorry. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it had alternative controls. It had this sort of shit. Guilty Gear Rev 2 had alternate controls. It had stylish mode. Same thing. Dude, there's like literally so many other fighting games. I can't even think of them all. But no, you're wrong. They've been around since like the 90s. Not every single fighting game had them, sure, but like they've been around. FGC doesn't have personality anymore. It only has marketers. It only has shields and marketers. That's it. That's all it has nowadays. That's all it has. KOF 99. There you go. Another game I completely forgot about. Exactly. They always been around. They always been around. But the difference between that and today's games are they weren't the things that made them games what they are wasn't sacrifice. And I'm not saying Street Fighter 6 is one of them, but look at Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is only going to be worse than Tekken 7 because Tekken 8 is basically Tekken 7 on steroids, like what I previously said, man. Like, literally, they're making the game dumber and dumber. Just dumbing down fighting games doesn't make them good. And it won't automatically mean you'll get a lot of players. If that was true, DNF Duel would never would have died. It would never would have died. But then again, I digress.
The same people that be like, this too easy. This too easy. This is a baby game. You never go past 0-2 at a tournament. You don't even enter the brackets in tournament.
This is coming from a person that doesn't enter in the bracket in the tournament. This is coming from a person that let me see your videos, bro. Let me see your videos. I might be wrong on this, but this is coming from the guy that never entered the tournament himself. Well, I don't see not one tournament video. All I see is like the basic, like, I don't see shit. But ain't nothing here. How you gonna be talking about like never entering tournaments when you never entered a tournament yourself? I find that shit funny. Talk about throwing a stone from a glass house. I'm surprised you didn't blow your arm out.
What a gorgeous day. What do you say we shoot some videos? iPhone.
Today, I want to talk about the beauty of a
Let me go back where I was.
do that. No, and then the best reply comment to this from the Heisen: get that $1 million at Evo. No, you're not gonna do that. Get that $1 million at Evo in tournament, right? If it's too easy, get first place. Get that.
You know, I really hate this stupid ass logic too. Going like, oh, just it's too easy. Then like, go get that. Nigga, nobody's saying like it's easy like to win like tournaments and shit, but the controls are dumbed down and easy. The game itself, there are always going to be pro players that exist, no matter how dog shit easy the game's going to be. The thing that the people that are going to suffer the most are the people that were always good enough to beat the scrubs, but like not good enough to beat the pro players. It's that in between, the intermediate players, where I say I am where I'm at right now, but I'm slightly above average. Slightly, very slightly. Very slightly above average. Since like my rank is like Diamond 5 for like Luke. Those are the players that are going to suffer the most. Because like the scrubs and shit like that, they have more of an advantage. Like as soon as like these games get dumber and dumber. And the pro players are also going to have the same problem because they're going to also have to deal with the same shit that other pro players that can just throw at them. It's like with damn, I lost my train of thought. But you get my overall point. Like with Street Fighter 5 and shit, like a lot of pro players just left that shit because it gotten too scrubby. The feed triggers, the guessing 24/7, and like, don't get me wrong, Street Fighter 4 had its guessing too. It had its Oki and bullshit. Like it had hard knockdown when it came to grabs, which was bullshit in my opinion. But overall, I still like that game. And the reason why a lot of pro players and shit like that like that game as well is because the skill gap was way, way bigger than it was in Street Fighter 5. I'm sorry, this is just another bad argument. Again, I can't believe I had to tear this shit down, but like, it is what it is.
$1 million at Evo. No, you're not gonna do that. No, and then the best reply comment to this from the Heisen Boj. These comments are absolutely hilarious. The type of people to be at death's door and reject heart transplants because it gives them another life.
What? That makes no sense. How the fuck? Let me read that again. These comments are absolutely hilarious. These are the type of people that be at death's door and reject a heart transplant because it gives them another life. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. I'm sorry, I don't know where he was going with that shit.
Or reject heart transplants because it gives them another life. Like, if you know something's easier to do in a game, do it. Like, and most people here.
Yeah, but the thing is, the easier, like these easier options, if these things were the thing, a lot of these motherfuckers wouldn't even be playing the game in the first place, let alone bragging about, like, oh my god, I'm so much better than you because you can't react to minor controls. You can't react to my one button DPs. Motherfucker, you wouldn't even be playing the game if the game didn't have one button DPs. Dumbass.
Are probably older than a typical modern day gamer. You've played Grand Theft Auto, you've used cheat codes. You use cheat.
What is this logic? If you use minor controls, I mean, if you play GTA, then you use cheat codes. Well, no shit, it's a single player game. Who in the world is going to be taking that shit seriously? I'm sorry, it's just one bad take after another, man. What is this dude's deal? This is ridiculous takes. Sorry, these are the dumbest takes I've ever heard, man.
Codes in other games to get past stuff. Zelda, that came out last month. Nintendo had to patch an exploit that helped them farm stuff. You have all cheated.
What are you even going on with this shit, bro? Like, you just talking out your ass at this point. Oh man, I might need an aspirin. That's exactly what I'm saying. Cheat codes in a single player game and modern controls in a multiplayer game are not the same thing. They're not even in the same universe.
Did it some kind of way, and it's not even cheating. This just making things easier for people to do. Now, this is my favorite thing about modern controls slander. This is my favorite thing. This guy says modern controls automatically confirm shit for you. It gives you access to wake up reactions. Also, it changes move specifics to counter during certain situations. I'm not even gonna read the rest of the comment. Let me break this down. Remember how I brought up the hitbox earlier? This is literally modern controls, but with more execution a little bit, just a tad bit more. Right? It's easier to just bust out supers on here, which is why people were saying y'all weren't around for Street Fighter V. When these were first being more prevalent, people started using them and they started showing it, especially hitbox. People were like, oh my god, you're cheating. It's the same thing, just modern controls are just without extra two arrows, two directions,
Okay, then if that's the case, then what's stopping you from playing classic controls then, dumb fuck? If it's just two little extra arrows, then why not use it? This dude is stupid as hell. Because it's easier, because I don't want to put it in the work. Like, oh boy. Oh man. Oh God, Jesus. Lord have mercy. Let me read the comments before I go any further in this video. Like, I already know I only got like 8, 9, 10, 3 minutes left in this video, but I need a pause. I need a pause. Like, y'all weren't around for Street Fighter 5. Who wanted to be around when Street Fighter 5 was a thing? That's the better question. That game was such a piece of shit from beginning to end. A lot of people didn't want to be around Street Fighter 5, man. They were tired of that game. That's my question. Who wanted to be around Street Fighter 5? Like, come on, bro. Like, and you know what? I'm not even really thinking this hard into it. It just takes me a couple seconds to come up with a rebuttal, and it already makes 10,000 times more sense. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Dude, making my hair hurt just thinking about this shit. Oh.
Directions, bro. Like, y'all tweaking. Like, if I want to do Guilty Gear Strive supers, you know, like Ride the Lightning, bam. That's it. Flock was
no shit, because Guilty Gear Strive is already dumb the fuck now. Like, you can literally just do like those supers like nothing. No shit. Oh yeah, what's up, Salty? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sorry, but if you actually struggle with like how to do like supers and shit like in Strive, like you have no room to talk about nobody. Just period. Jesus Christ. Anyways.
Smeagol's, and that Pokemon go hard. Don't let nobody tell you that Pokemon don't go hard. He says, there's not enough data collected to say that modern is or should be viable, but I will say that the mode does have broken neutral tools, and that from my own observation, they aren't nerfed enough to justify having a strong tool set. Well, to be honest, I don't think it's much of a problem, to be honest with you.
Well, of course you don't think it's a much of a problem because you fucking suck. Like once you get the high levels, like you won't be singing that same tone. I guarantee you that. And get to my level and I know it's kind of arrogant for me to say it, but it's true. Like, come on now. Dude, you literally at the bottom of the barrel, reaching for the bottom of the barrel. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Mind controls need to be nerfed. They do. Hell, I'll make a video about discussing that too in the future too. I'll make a video about that as well. On why mind controls need to be nerfed and why I don't respect them. This shit is just getting ridiculous at this point. You better got 2 minutes left.
Because number one, modern is viable. There is Jick D who's been playing modern.
Yeah, Order Soul. Yeah, he's hard. He's hard. I'm not gonna lie. That character is really hard for me to use. Like the execution in in that game is just that game is kind of hard. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's interesting to learn though. I need to start playing that game again since like I got a main game like to play whenever I want to, whenever I get a little too frustrated. Like I can just go back to this. But yeah, I need to stop going back on my words so much about learning about these other games. I learned about that too soon when I have more time. But this is getting ridiculous.
In tournaments, and as CEO, I think he got either 25th or 33rd. That is big for the first big Street Fighter 6 tournament being stacked and stuff like that. Stacked at either test. I don't think it's much of a problem, to be honest with you, because number one, modern is viable. There is Jick D who's been playing modern in tournaments, and as CEO, I think he got either 25th or 33rd. That is big for the first big Street Fighter 6 tournament being stacked and stuff like that. Even pro players are opting to use modern Luke at one point. Tokido has used modern Luke at one point. He may have switched back, but he still has used those type of things. He still has used modern controls. They're viable. That's what it is at the end of the day. Certain characters, like E Honda, I'm probably going to switch to Luke. I'm not dealing with it. Oh, another thing I want to talk about that y'all been blowing my mind with, bro. Y'all been blowing my mind. Y'all be like, oh, the auto combo. He's doing the auto combo. First of all, if you want me to, I've been playing Cammy, right? Most characters, I do something very basic. I jab into special. If I'm confident.
So you're just basically like every other Cammy player, right? That's basically every other Cammy player. You just describe every Cammy player I ever faced. They all do that. Anyways.
Jab, drive, rush, jab into special. It's not that I can show y'all I can do it on classic and I can do it on modern if you really want me to show you.
I mean, anybody can jab. Nigga, you're bragging about the most basic shit with Cammy. An already basic bitch. Like literally. No, nobody cares if you can do that or not. Let me move on. I'm not gonna
do it. Like it's the same thing. Like it's not that hard. I just like modern's control scheme. Here's another comment that I think is really important to talk about. It just happens to hit Street Fighter the latest out of every other fighting game out there. People have been tripping about auto combos, a loud minority of the FGC hate features that make fighting games more accessible. I agree with you 100%, 1,000%. Anyways, modern.
The thing is, like, I don't have a problem with it being having accessibility, but the thing is, it shouldn't have accessibility when the games were like that from the very beginning. I mean, just because like we're in modern times now, that doesn't mean the games have to change so much that there might as well not even be those games. It's the same thing with Tekken, like I already said. The reason why I'm not getting Tekken 8 because it strayed so far away from what actually made it Tekken to the point where, like, I might as well just play Street Fighter. The reason why I like Tekken so much, and the reason why so many other people like Tekken 3, Tekken 4, Tekken 5, hell, even go so far as Tekken 6, mind you, the reason why they like those games so much is because Tekken was not like every other fighting game out there. Like, if I want to take a break from the craziness that Guilty Gear Strive provided or like Street Fighter provided, I would just go play Tekken. If I really just want to do some old school, open up some old school, whoop your ass, I can do that in Tekken. Now we got heat systems, rage arts, like rage drives and all this shit, man. I might as well just be playing Street Fighter 6. Because it's so far removed from like what it was that this might as well not even be Tekken anymore. The side stepping, the wave dashing, the Korean backdashes, the movement overall is just so fucking bad in Tekken 7. And I bet money it's just gonna be the exact same, if not worse, in Tekken 8. That's what I'm saying.
Controls are not as good and will never be as good as classic. Capcom made sure to balance the control styles, even by making Zangief do less damage when using modern controls. You guys have to stop.
But here's the thing, you dishonest ass. Here's the thing. You can switch. You can literally do the classic input and you'll get the damage. You can just completely bypass that problem. You literally can do that. You can literally do that. Like, I can just bypass it and then just do the classic input. Sorry, but like, that's just so dumb.
Stop with the less damage thing. Yes, if you use the one button special, the quick access one, it is less damage. But if you still do the motions, you can still do motions in modern. If you do the motions, you still get the same damage as classic. Who keeps saying this? Why y'all keep lying? That's how y'all keep getting kicked out. Be like, dang, that did that much damage? Yeah, because y'all don't look into the control scheme. Y'all like, ladies and gentlemen, I read
please don't make that face ever again. Just don't, for future reference.
Many crazy modern control takes, hot takes, and people still feel this way. I get comments on videos I ain't even upload about modern controls, about you being a baby using them. Like, it's so toxic. That being said, if you
it's
got
not toxic, it's honest. Like, literally any criticism nowadays is just toxic. It's just honest. It's just being honest. I'm sorry, like, yeah, I can't tell if you being purposely stupid or being purposely dishonest or just purposely having your head up in your own ass, which I honestly would be impressed because that head is pretty damn big. Yeah, regardless, these are some of the dumbest takes I have ever heard, man. Ever. I can't take no more of this. I can't take no more of this. I'm just gonna, we only got like 50 seconds left. Let's just finish this off.
Today's video.
Let me go back because I was kind of talking over him.
So toxic. That being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit the like button. Y'all, you already know, subscribe. We're almost on the road to 20K. My avatar Yaya, you guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.
Oh, that's it. But like, I don't personally like hate the dude, but like, I ain't saying like, and plus disclaimer obviously, but like don't be going like harassing this dude or anything like that. If like this video pops off or whatever have you, I don't care. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but this was the dumbest fucking take. This is the dumbest takes I have ever heard in my life about like modern controls. Like it's just, it's just so dumb. It really is. Like if you twist the logic, like what I said earlier, if you just twist the logic that a lot of these dudes be using, and him as an example, be using trying like to make like these bullshit defenses, like just twist the logic just a little bit and add it to like a real world like issue and shit, you realize how stupid this shit sounds. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't reward skill, it rewards habits. And it kills like, and like auto combos like automatically, it just kills a lot of innovation. Like in certain fighting games, like KOF 15 was one of them. Like if I try to do a combo with like a light jab, like, oh wait a minute, I almost accidentally did a full auto combo. I keep forgetting it's not KOF 13. Anyways. Anyways, man, even I'm not like some great messiah when it comes to fighting games. Like in the FGC and shit, I have no horse in the race. I am just a retired old, I'm just like a retired old dude just sitting on the lawn chair and just telling one of these kids to get off my lawn and don't come around me with that bullshit. That's how I feel about it at this point. The FGC in itself, like it would implode off of its own stupidity. Off its own like dishonest bullshit. But shit, that's all I had to say. Shit, what should I do now? I'll just stream later, probably later on today or tomorrow. I ain't doing that shit right now. I'm gonna relax for a little bit. But anyways, shit, I'll catch y'all. I'll catch y'all guys later. I'm sorry, that had to get off my chest. That shit was just dumb as hell. That's one of the worst takes I have ever seen.